Welcome back to the Winning Moments Show. Post County Center, post Section 1 championships. Now we're going to the States. I'm joined here by the legendary Coach Ward and the hardest working man in this area, Kevin Devaney Jr., most well known as KDJ. And I'm John Lim, and we have a beautiful show for you guys. Kevin, I just want to comment real quick that your Pat Riley suit game at the county center was, Coach, was it not top notch?
It was Power 4 level conference good.
Remember when people used to wear suits and ties?
Yes.
Like all the time?
Yeah.
And maybe coaches used to wear stuff. So Tim Petrulli, right? So Tim Petrulli, there was a great picture of Tim Petrulli jumping up after they won their semifinal game. And I posted because he was airborne. He was up there, right?
He got up.
And I posted it, and I didn't realize that people are going to be so critical of the fact that he's wearing jeans and a hoodie. And people were like killing him about the jeans. How could a coach wear jeans, all this stuff? So I went up to him and before the championship, and he's wearing jeans and a hoodie, and I'm in a suit. And he goes, listen, I don't really care what anyone says, what they think. He's like, I wore this when we started a winning streak, and I'm wearing it until we lose.
He's very superstitious.
He's like, I am not changing anything. He's like, I don't care what people say. He's like, we win. That was before the Tapan Zee game. He goes, we win that. We win this game. I'll retire the jeans, whatever. But they lost. But again, it's the suit and tie. You know, I mean, listen.
I'd like to interject something about that picture. Was a fantastic picture.
Yeah,
Coach Petrulli. If it almost looked like he was jumping off a speaker as the lead guitarist for either Motley Crue or Poison from one of the 80s bands,
there you know,
80s rock, glam bands or whatever you want to call it. It was fantastic.
He needed the long hair.
Oh, yeah, and the legs are out there with the guitar. It's been over.
He's a good friend of ours, so we can make these jokes.
Let's be kind to the bald men out there.
We love Coach Petrulli did an awesome job. And that's probably a good place to start. Obviously, the County Center week was exhausting. Obviously, for guys like Claudio and Justin, for what they did, what you guys did, it was pretty awesome. I can't tell you if the County Center year after year, the way they dressed the building up, the way that they Section 1 signage, the lighting, the dim lights, the spotlight, all that stuff. I thought that was like the crescendo, right? I thought that was as good as they can ever make it. And then the Winning Moments crew showed up and made it even better. And you guys were phenomenal. I wish I could have taken more part in it. Obviously, I was still busy. And there's only so much a human being could talk in a given day. So I need to sort of rest a little bit. But the way you guys came and set up the lights and the cameras and the whole thing, all the stuff we have here right now, the professionalism. I had a parent say to me during one of while their kid was being interviewed by you guys, they said, this is almost as cool as the game. After they won the section championship.
That's very kind.
So
sweet.
That was a really awesome compliment to you guys. And the fact that it was, this is the one part I had in this was saying to Todd Santa Barbara and the crew, let's make it front and center. Because people are going to walk in and go, what the hell is this? What is this new thing here? And it wasn't so much about, yes, it was great visibility for Winning Moments and everything. But it was better visibility for Section 1 athletics and for Section 1 basketball and for the County Center Week. And I think that is a lifetime memory you guys created for them. So on behalf of coaches, players, parents, athletes, it was phenomenal what you guys did.
Thank you, Kevin.
The show, you guys managed to trim it down to 7 hours. Somebody said to me, some teacher said to me, he goes, I watched it at school today. I go, school's not that long. You couldn't watch the whole thing. You couldn't have watched the whole thing. 7 hours.
Yeah, well, listen, thanks to Justin, Claudio, Anastasia, our entire crew for the setup. We did put chapters in that, so you can skip to the chapters you want. We will have all 10 episodes come out.
But it's like
games.
the Netflix era. The Netflix era.
Right.
They used to make movies, right? Now they just make 10-hour shows.
10-hour shows.
And people watch the whole thing. So this is you're kind of ripping them off on that. It's good. Smart.
I do got to say though, we have some. I got a lot of controversy at the County Center because we were compared to like the TNT halftime show. Like halftime went on, the lights came on, right?
Who would you be?
Well, so listen, on one of the episodes, you said you saw that, right? I admitted that I had my Barkley haircut going on, right? I mean, I'd probably be Shaq in that scenario, but it's
you're Ernie Johnson.
Who's Ernie? No,
that's who you are.
The argument is which one of you guys are Ernie?
No, I think we're our own people.
Okay.
We're our own people.
We just be who we're just who we are.
Now, Chris Ward, I'm gonna tell you something. Of all the performances at the County Center, Brandon Burrell was great. He was awesome. I don't know if anybody was better than Chris Ward on a game broadcast during the first quarter or the second quarter. So he joined our Sports Engine broadcast. I said, let's let him do a game, whatever. And then after the first quarter, I'm like, the hell, this guy's awesome at this. I'm like, he's better at this than anybody. So I remembered, though, he watches a lot of basketball. He watches a lot of game broadcasts.
Yeah,
he knows what broadcasters should say and what they should do and when they should speak.
He might rival you in the amount of games that he watches.
No, he watches on TV way more games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, insane. Like almost to the point where it's like he might have something wrong with him. But he watches and listens and knows, and he slid into that chair with literally no training or like no conversation. I was just like, hey, that's your headset, put it on. This is where you mute. He never hit the mute button, by the way. I'm like, this is where he's understands, and he was so good from the first start to the point where I was like, I can't get him on every game, but man, I got to get him on the big one. Like so Chris, you were so good, man.
Kevin, I was honored. It was a privilege, and thank you for trusting me to be on air with you. I appreciate it.
No, double duty, by the way. Coach, some of those games, he did the game, okay, then left at halftime, ran across the court, okay, to do the halftime show, then ran back to do the third and fourth quarter, and then ran back to make sure there. So, like, listen, you know what? We always talk about you being the hardest working man in the industry.
He had me beat last week.
County
I
Center,
left for a couple games. He never
MVP.
Yeah,
MVP
he was
in the
great.
County Center,
So very
Our
sweet,
MVP
very
goes to you. All tourney goes to Kevin. And
I know that there's 2 children and a lady that I live with that would love to have that button. The mute button. To have that at home. I do know that.
Yeah, that you were great, and it added so much depth between the sports engine, the game day one, the interns that we had. These kids were phenomenal.
Our interns, also everybody was fantastic.
I mean, the coverage of it was pretty awesome, and I think it added a lot. So Colin Warden, who played for Yorktown, came up to me, and I'm unbelievably lucky in life that people go out of their way to like wait. Well, they'll wait online to say thank you to me, right? So I'm very lucky. I never take it for granted. But Colin Warden said, he goes, "Thank you so much for all you do." And I said, "Awesome, Colin, great job this season." He goes, "You make it so much more fun." And I'm like, that is like the greatest compliment.
Yeah,
that's what it's all
awesome.
about.
That's awesome. I think you guys did that also. So listen, enough of this. Enough pat on our back. Let's talk about the actual games.
Well, let's not forget about Mr. Santa Barbara. Let's talk about Todd Santa Barbara and his crew in Section 1, allowing us to have a platform and be a part of not just a basketball tournament. I felt like it was an event.
An event.
Yeah,
exactly. And it is an event. Yeah. It is a big event. And the crowds came out for it on the weekend, which was great. And the games were awesome. I mean, there was no buzzer beater, but there was some good drama.
Yes, there was.
There was no huge upsets, but there was a couple of teams with dark jerseys that won, which was good to see. Always adds to it. And let's go back to go back to all. It feels like so long ago that the first day, Saturday, March, whatever, or February 28th.
Yeah.
The Class A games start rolling along, and we could start talking about the players who just kind of stood out. Players you remember forever, and Adriana Diorio for Tapan Zee hitting how many threes in the
10.
10 threes.
She either
30 points.
She either tied it or broke it.
Yeah,
I think she broke it. I think she broke it.
To me,
it was a phenomenal. I think she was 10 for 13.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. What she did in that game, 10 3-pointers, 10 of 13 from threes at the County Center. Despite everyone kind of knowing she was going to shoot a lot of threes, she made 10. I mean, that is just off the charts. I watched Jonah Walsh last night from Marinick hit 6. It felt like he lit the world on fire, and she had 10.
Right.
So it was, to me, that was like such an awesome way to start the week off. And then TZ girls obviously going on and winning the section championship, and they look pretty dominant, man. I mean, we won't even get into the state tournament game. We'll do the state tournament at the end. But from their 2 games they played at the County Center, Tapan Zee looks like state championship caliber team.
They certainly do. We'd be shocked if they don't get to Troy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Emma McHugh, CUNY, and Diorio and company. I mean,
Girardi,
McHugh.
Mm-hmm. And McHugh,
they're so good.
They're so well put. They're a well-rounded, well put together team, and everything they do. It is,
and they're
special.
deep. Off the bench. Sanchez, don't forget.
Yeah, we forgot
Alyssa Sanchez. So they're very deep and they're very good and they're very well coached.
And they go into that championship game, and obviously Diorio goes out and hits 10 threes in the semifinals. So Pelham wins. Brooke Green was phenomenal in their semifinal win over Han Hud, where they were up, and then Han Hud comes back, and then she kind of stabilized things down the stretch, and they get to the championship game for the second year in a row. And it's just so hard to kind of stop all the things. So they did a nice job defending the perimeter, but then the TZ could just beat you other ways. And so someone said to me, they go, well, they're not going to let her make 10 threes. And I go, yeah, that's not really all that they can do. They're probably better at getting out in transition and turning up the tempo of games. And that's kind of what they did. They kind of did enough to win the championship. And Pelham's good. Pelham got out in the shooters well. And it was a little bit of an ugly, low-scoring game, but TZ just does what TZ girls do now. And that they've won 4. She's won, Coach Riley Chevrier has won 4 gold balls in her life. She won as Riley Harrington, as a point guard at Irvington back in 2010. Now 3 times as a section champion, as a coach. And she has a chance to become what I believe will be the first female to ever win a state championship as a player and as a coach. Who's the only male?
Drew Watson.
Alexander
Hamilton High School.
Alexander
Hamilton High School.
He won as a player and as a coach. So that'd be pretty great.
She'll be in
two of our closest people.
She'll be in rarefied air. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And I want to make this comment, too, about Tapan Zee for 1 second. Defensively is where they won the championship.
Yeah.
And let's not forget how they took Pelham's ability to get in the lane.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Their defense is what got them the championship on Saturday or whatever.
Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah. Well, their offense on starting on the States, like Kevin, you were at that game on.
Oh man,
dude,
yeah.
I mean, 69-23. What, they up like 32-0?
34-0.
34-0. They were up.
It was hard, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
But the 34-0, it was. It was like uncomfortable.
Yeah, you feel bad.
Yeah. Because the other team was totally overmatched.
There was a game in South Carolina in my home area. Mm-hmm. The team won the game 89-4 or 89-5.
Was it a Catholic school? Was it a private school?
No, it was a public school.
Okay. All right. Still, that's amazing.
But they tried not to make it worse.
And so did Tapan Zee. So Tapan Zee girls win, and then of course on Friday Tapan Zee boys. So we had 2 good matchups in the semifinals with TZ knocking off Westlake, and it's just TZ is just so darn good. And then you had the other semifinal was Byram Hills beat Pearl River for the another time at the County Center. They meet for the championship. And man, have you ever seen a guy score 5 points and dominate a game more than Jack Bacone did?
No,
never seen anything like it.
Not like that. Not the influence that he had on the game and the influence he had on winning. Mm-hmm. His influence on winning is invaluable and understated unless you really know what you're looking at.
You have to watch so I don't throw people under the bus here, but so game day 1, my other company, we hand out the MVP and the all tournament team for boys and girls at the County Center. I hand them out. I don't pick it, sponsor it, but we don't really select it. The committee selects it, and they ask for my input. And
I'm glad you brought that up because people think that it's the coaches. Say it again, Kevin,
it's not
please.
The coaches. It's the committee does it, and they do input from the coach. Sometimes it's like the problem is they just so often just look at the number of points. So if a player had 12 points, another player has 11 points, the player with 12 points will get the all tournament. And then what happens is sometimes I'm doing this with like a minute to go, and then the 11-point scorer scores another basket, and they're like, oh, we got to switch. That's just a bad way to do it. Watch the game. If you watch the game, Jack Bacone was off the charts dominant in that game, and he was kind of almost on the outside looking in of being all tournament because he only had 5 points. I'm like, watch the game.
Correct.
What he did defensively, sharing the ball, just the emotional lift he gives. And obviously we know what he's been through. We talked about what he's been through. We talked about it on air.
Well documented.
And it's pretty phenomenal to see. And goes, and we'll talk about the state tournament, but he went and did it again against Beacon on Tuesday night. And it just continues to be more than just this player who does this thing and plays good defense. It's almost like it's kind of the embodiment of a phenomenon of TZ basketball. And Jack Bacone, nobody has Sean Berrigan, in terms of just like the guts and the scoring and but this kid does it on the other side of the ball, and it's just kind of a special, maybe more special because it is so selfless the way he plays, and to see him get the MVP, to be able to hand him the trophy was pretty special for me personally,
of course,
and it was awesome. So TZ wins for the 3rd time in 4 years with a gold ball, and they go and now they're moving on to state tournament.
He's the embodiment of a phenomenal basketball player.
Yeah.
Right? Like to your point, like he's the heartbeat of it all, right? And whether he scores a lot of points or plays a lot of defense, like basketball is about rhythm. The game is about rhythm, and he is the rhythm setter and carrying the rhythm through that entire game. Like, he's really fun to watch.
Bill Pillow, the Tapan Zee athletic director, makes this comment, and he tweeted it the other day, and I retweeted it because it's so good. He says, "It's amazing what can be accomplished by a team when nobody cares who gets the credit." And you could all say, as parents, as players, "Oh, I don't care who gets the credit. I just want to win." There's a little part of everybody that wants some credit.
Yeah.
And not on Tapan Zee. And that's what makes him special.
Selfless.
No, it's
Selfless.
Pretty awesome. It's pretty
and
awesome.
Happy for Isaiah Lavelle, the way that he stepped up. And he's such a nice... The interviewing with both of those kids was awesome.
Extremely knowledgeable too, right?
Holy
knows
smoke.
his Section 1, knows his Section 1 stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. So they highlighted our Friday schedule of championships. We go to Saturday. So Tuckahoe girls hadn't played in like 3 weeks and struggled early on. But Juliana Manginelli, in that championship game, did things that was just like, wow. Obviously, she's been around for a few years for Tuckahoe and Chloe Angelo and Brooke Matarazzo. Like, these girls are just, you feel they're only sophomores and freshmen. It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Manginelli has kind of taken her game to another level. And Coach, you know what I'm saying here when I say that. You could tell a player who puts time into their game. There's some players who are just naturally gifted and naturally talented.
Yeah.
And then there's players, but it jumps out so fast in how much Manginelli is clearly working on her game.
Oh, she's gotten so much better.
Yep, and just not just a shooter. I mean, she's a terrific shooter, but just like it seems like everything's slowed down for her so much more. And for a player who plays at her speed, it's pretty special. So Tuckahoe beats North Salem on the girls' side, and then on the boys' side, our first real upset, I guess we'll say, North Salem boys beating Tuckahoe. Coach, were you surprised with the North Salem win on the boys?
I was absolutely astonished at what took place because I saw. I was saying this before. I saw North Salem play Children's Village. Mm-hmm. They looked like they were. They were playing hard. They didn't play very well.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, if they play like this in a championship, Tuckahoe's going to walk away with this.
Yeah.
And somebody forgot to tell me that they were not, Chris Brandt and company.
No, Bryce Bryant,
they were going to be ready to go, and Max Catrone was unreal.
That's what it was.
Because the Tuckahoe guards are good guards for Mato and Briante, but Max is so much physically, he's bigger, he's stronger, and I think that caused problems. I think they did a great job taking away dribble penetration. And then Bryce Bryant,
sophomore,
was
extremely talented. I mean,
and he was probably played the best game of his career. At North Salem in the final. Yeah.
So the thing about North Salem, when you watch all the pieces that they have, they all kind of have to be doing their job individually. And that would allow Bryce Bryant to be the best player on the court. And that's sort of what they didn't do in the first half. They were struggling offensively. And you saw things kind of fall into place in the second half when Max Catrone took the game over. So the big advantage that people like myself, gave Tuckahoe was that they were the defending champions.
Yep.
And you think that, they won basketball last year. But then you forget, like, these North Salem guys have won a lot also.
Yes,
and
they
soccer
have.
players, Max Catrone. So they've been in big games, maybe bigger games. And Max Catrone went out there, and in the second half, very quiet in the first half.
Yes.
We were kind of tiptoeing on saying that he wasn't playing well without saying it.
Yep.
And I think he would agree. And he just completely took control in a way that was calm. So he's really like one of these high energy guys. He has a good presence on the court.
Yes, he
frame,
does.
he's built. But he sort of was smooth in the second half of that game and just very in control. And I was so impressed with the way that he handled the moment and the way he was allowed everything else to open up.
He did. I mean, listen, Tuckahoe was winning that game 24-17 going into the half.
They were upset.
And Bryce Bryant, he was also in foul trouble.
Was the fouls? What do you think about the fouls? The foul calls against Tuckahoe. Was it? There was obviously Jack Bamford and Luca Del Conte got into foul trouble.
Absolutely,
took away 2 6'5s,
and that way it took away that interior presence for Tuckahoe. And now what happened next was North Salem and Catrone and company exploited it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what the big turn for me was. Lucas Verzi, 8 points in the third quarter. And that really got them going because when Lucas made those, knocked down a 3, had to pull up, had another jumper. When he got going, they got in rhythm quickly offensively. And then Jamison Wan was great defensively on the ball. He did a great job of taking away dribble penetration. DeLarco and
DeLarco
Dooley
was good, very good
Oh,
rebounding.
my God.
And so the offensive rebounding in the second half of that game was really
it gave
good.
them extra possessions.
That kind of broke the spirit because it was a reminder of the guys sitting on the bench with fouls. Because if they're out there, they don't get those offensive rebounds, extra possessions. Even when they didn't score on some of these extra possessions, you still felt like, man, that North Salem's not going to get beat here today.
Well, it was interesting. Bryce Bryant wasn't in the game in that case, and they went on a 27-11 run in the third quarter. We were talking about it like he's not even.
Bryant was out with his third foul.
Yeah,
and they got it going.
Chris Brent, really impressive. I mean, just as a coach,
I thought he did a fantastic
never kind
job.
of blinked with everything going on. So
he's very even keeled.
Yep. Those teams, Tuckahoe girls, North Salem boys, have a bye now to the state's regional finals on Saturday.
I want to say something about my son's girls team at Tuckahoe.
Yeah.
They sprint
Silvio
de Salvatore. Yeah, so people I forget. Silvio de Salvatore's team. Mm-hmm. They sprint the floor the way Tapan Zee sprints the floor in transition.
Yeah,
it was they get out in the break and they get it going, and that was it.
That was something that Silvio's been working on to get his team to do that consistently. And it's like the lights are on now for the state tournament. They have a chance to win a state championship.
Yes, they do.
And this has been talked about for years. Class C and D at the small school level upstate is so competitive, and people think, Tuckahoe gets a bye to the state Final Four. It doesn't always work like that. The teams are very good. If you watch Shrewsbury over the years and all these teams, they are. They have a chance. They have a real chance.
Really
if they're going to play this, they have a real chance.
Yeah.
So that's our A in Class C. The AA games on Saturday, that was worth the price of admission for the entire week. So you had. So let's just talk. So Nyack girls, they win their semi. They get to the championship. Austin girls don't score a point in the third quarter of their semifinal win over defending champion Rye and still win. And you thought to yourself, like, okay, that's just like, this is just, I don't know what this is. This is like destiny, right? Austin back on top, hasn't won since 2018, 2019. So, this is where they get back. If they're going to get to the final, they're going to beat Nyack. And they struggled again offensively in that first quarter. And you're like, man, what is going on with this team? The fouls in that game. Wild game, Coach.
It was bedlam in there.
Yeah.
We're talking about the final.
Yeah, the final.
Yeah. First of all, how good was Madeline Pesky for Nyack?
Awesome. Yeah. The thing is, as much as we talk about Rakia Muhammad and Casey Cummings, they can't win with 2. They won with 5. They didn't sub the whole game until Rakia Muhammad fouled out.
Right. I mean, 32 minutes that those girls played. Casey Cummings.
Yeah. Tough.
I mean, tough. And I was really impressed with Maya Cormiel's composure.
Yeah.
They were all composed. Mm-hmm. And then Curvins Ferdilis runs the twirl play. Bob Walsh, St. John's, runs it, but he ran it reverse where the girl chased, curled. They hit Cummings with the layup, which proved to be the winning basket.
Yeah.
In the section championship.
Coach, he didn't run that play. Remember, we found out afterwards. So he never ran that play all year long. Coach couldn't wait to interview Coach to talk about that play. Right?
Yeah.
Walsh and the rest.
Basketball nerd talk. Yeah.
Right, basketball nerd talk. I didn't know what we were talking about. John, you remember that curl from Bob Walsh? I'm like, who's Bob Walsh?
St. John's. Yeah.
Okay? Right. So they run the play. We go back to the coach, and Coach tells us that, hey, we never ran that play all year long. We saw it. Mayapack did it against us, so we saw it. Great. I called a different play. Casey said, "No, Coach."
Casey Cummings.
Casey says, "No, Coach.
We're
not calling that play. We're calling this play."
Line. They call it line. And he
awesome.
and you know what Curvin said? Casey, let's go with it. You got that feeling. Trusted his senior to make that call.
She calls the play. She executes the play. She scores the winning basket on that play.
Yeah.
And during our interview, she didn't say anything about it. But when Coach was like, "Yeah, I didn't run that play." What do you mean you didn't run that play? Not Casey ran that play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we saw Casey run the play, Coach. She executed it. No, she called that play.
That's amazing. And Casey Cummings is a special player. I mean, special athlete. She went to varsity lacrosse in 7th grade at Nyack, and now they're section champion. I mean, it's incredible what she's done this last year. And she obviously still has her whole lacrosse season to play coming up. Basketball is going to cut into that a little bit right now. They're still playing.
Yeah.
But I was so impressed.
And Rakia Muhammad.
Rakia Muhammad. So Rakia Muhammad, I'll say this. The best defense on the boys' side all week probably was played by Jack Bacone. On the girls' side, it might have been Taisha Carver on Rakia Muhammad.
How good was
6 inches.
How good was she on the ball?
She was so good on the ball. I mean, she
in
was
her
so
final game. She played great.
She was so good. Honestly, Rakia Muhammad fouling out they moved Carver to Cummings. That is such a different. She just played 30 minutes of one style defense, and then has to switch them to a completely different style type of player. But I thought, she was fantastic, and they had their opportunity at the end of the game. They lose. Nyack lost Rakeem Muhammad to fouls. 3 seconds later, Osting loses Claire Schnecker to fouls. And on the offensive foul, clearly they were pounding the ball inside because Rakeem Muhammad's gone.
Right.
And she gets an offensive foul call. I don't know. I watched it 100 times. I can't decide if it's a good call.
Our vantage point was and Dan asked me, Coach Ricky asked me about it.
You gave the answer?
Yeah, I did. Okay. I said, I saw the hook.
Yeah.
I saw her hooker on the back, on the hip to turn and make that move.
But she didn't have to. That's she wouldn't have needed to do that.
No doubt.
So,
but there's
it's hard to call that hook though. But championship hook play. I mean,
fifth foul, offensive foul, championship game.
I understand.
It's a foul. It's a foul.
Right. I mean, that is a foul. That's an advantage. Yeah. However, there's some conversation, and some people have said there was a two-hand push in the back when she was prior to the hook that took place when she tried to establish post position.
Physical game, and the whole game was physical, and it was a hard game to officiate. So I'm not saying
no doubt,
it was very difficult. When the ball's not going in the basket in girls basketball, it is so hard to officiate the games because it's loose ball, rebounding over the back. It's so hard. I mean, referees love when the ball goes to the basket because it's just like inbound. Let's go up the floor next. It's so difficult. And that game was like the antithesis. That was like the total example of how hard it is to officiate a game.
By the way, give Dan Ricky's crew 40 to 23 or 25. They go on a 17-0 run, and the building was shaking.
Yeah, freshmen making the threes.
Oh yes,
Yancey.
Yancey, of course. Yes, her dad's assistant coach. They covered him in high school. Amaya Yancey was fantastic.
She was fantastic.
So they needed to find a spark. Amaya Yancey gave it to them as a freshman. So they lose Claire Schnecker. Amaya Yancey might be the next player that comes through Austin.
Absolutely.
So, it was one of the most exciting games, I think, that Saturday.
Saturday night, though, was electric.
Yes, it was.
The boys' game, Rye upset Suffern. They make. I think I talked to Coach Scott Wright from Suffern. I think he said they make 8 of 11 threes in the first half of the game.
They were on fire.
Unbelievable. And that's just what Rye does. I mean, Rye is not going to ever in any sport come in and not be the more confident team. There was a lot of pressure on Suffern. Obviously, we know Jake Pampolina.
Yep.
Goal ball. All they talked about. Rye was like, good, you guys keep talking. We're going to go out and play basketball. And they were the better team. I mean, I don't know if they're the better team overall, but they were the better team on that night, which is all that matters. They were phenomenal.
They couldn't miss in that first half.
No, they were
really couldn't miss.
It was obviously 8 threes. There's a lot of points, but emotional damage it did to. My son just yelled emotional damage from the back. It's a YouTube thing. So emotional damage it did on Suffern was dramatic. You saw it. They tried them out to come back in the second half. And
they got it to 8, but they didn't get, I don't think, any closer than that. How about Callahan Wing comes off the bench, stone cold.
10 guys come off the bench.
And knocks, but he knocked down the first 2 shots he took were deep threes.
Yeah.
He knocks them down of the 8 of 12. Like everybody that shot the ball knocked down.
They couldn't miss.
Ben Hudson was great in the first quarter of that game.
Fantastic.
He was, and then everybody just contributed. I mean, that was probably as good of a team game. Like you could say Tapan Zee plays team basketball. It's 5 guys. Rye did team basketball with like 10 guys. It was pretty phenomenal.
I mean, Hess. Luke Scully, Shirakawa came in and had a great assist.
Played for like 5 minutes and made like 3 great plays.
Absolutely.
So it was great. It was fun to watch that Rye team win. Clarkstown North, they win their semifinal over Yorktown, and clearly they look like a team on a mission. And Kyle Kirkland in that championship game on Saturday night was as great in a losing effort as I can remember since Eric Pascal. He was. That's a great
comparison.
Eric Pascal from Dobbs Ferry. He's the only player that I can remember that lost the section championship and won MVP. Which never happens.
Triple overtime
Lord's
against
is so
Lords.
upset about it all these years later. But so Kyle Kirkland goes out and just shoots the lights out. I mean, he made the Kawhi Leonard 3 where he's like falling down into the corner, almost out of bounds, and he hit that straight on 3. And that was the 8th 3 that he hit in the night. And I'm like, Clarkstown North is going to win. They're going to win the section championship. And Rye never let him score again. He scored 1 basket the rest of the way.
The speed that kid has
Oh my God.
He might have been the fastest kid in the gym.
He was electric.
He was electric.
Never stops running.
No.
Even when he gets back, he hits a three. The way he gets back on defense is sprint.
Right.
Sprint speed. It's insane. Rotimi Asiso and
he was fantastic too.
He was great too.
Rye did a good job on him in the second half because Rye's transition defense was not good in the first half.
No, it was not. They did a better job in the second half. They almost lost to a shooter. I mean, that's really what it was going to get down to. But then the team that kind of had the guts at the end, Rye, and the shots that Shoemaker made, Henry Shoemaker was so good.
He was so good in the second half, wasn't he?
Unbelievable.
3-pointer.
Yep.
Post action.
Yeah.
Carson Miller started finishing.
Totally. And,
Ben Hudson came alive in the second half.
Yes,
So
he was great.
He didn't really play well in the first
really
half.
just great team basketball. I thought Tommy Prudian was, in my opinion, the coach of the week last week. And obviously, anyone that wins a championship, you should put him in a conversation of doing a great job coaching. But I think considering the way that they were not such an underdog, but they were underdogs against Suffering, he came out fired, coached his team up, and was so in control. I think in control is what I would say that Rye, Coach Tommy Prudian, was last week at the County Center. More in control of his team than anyone that I can remember in the last few seasons. He was just command, knew what he wanted to do in every possession.
Absolutely.
Knew what to say to the refs, knew what to say to his teammates. Every substitution, guy came in and made a play. It's a credit to those players, but it's also a credit to the coach to trust. We see some coaches lose a little bit of trust in their guys, their bench guys.
They do. He was so good in the post-game interview. Basically, we asked him, like, hey, what'd you say at halftime? Listen, we got punched in the face, but we're just going to keep playing our game.
Yeah.
Right. He knew going into that game those kids were not going to shoot the same way that they did in the semifinals.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're just going to keep playing our game, and for 32 minutes, as long as we play our game, we're going to win.
Yeah.
So get these next 16 minutes, play the 16 minutes, play right basketball, and we're going to win.
It was impressive.
What hurt Clarkstown North was being 1 for 12 from the foul line.
Yeah, I don't want to bring it up, but you did. So no, I was going to bring it up. That hurt.
That really hurt.
Got to be the bearer of bad news.
And as a parent, I'm going to say that as a parent, because we're all parents, they were down 3 with a 3-shot opportunity with about a minute 35 left, and my heart broke. They missed all 3, and that was
There's a part of me that wonders, does that make it like we were the better team? We just couldn't make foul shots, since you can go into the rest of your life saying that foul shots. That's what it was. That happens. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it was a great season for Clarkstown North. Kenny and did an unbelievable job.
41 years.
41 years.
They had never been. They hadn't done anything like the way they did it. And Asiso, Kirkland and company, Coach Amporo and his staff were fantastic.
So good. So Sunday comes. Alberta's Magnus girls start the day off. They beat RC Ketchum. I got to tell you, Allie Kaminsky for Ketchum was fantastic in the
first
semifinal.
half.
So good. Yeah. And then you just see that Alberta's Magnus is just they're a machine. I mean, Julia Scott. There's just too many pieces in this team. Maddie Zuppi,
Najai,
Sarah Najai, Kira Brescia. They just had to have all the pieces right now. I don't know if they're as good as they've been the last 2 seasons. Julia Scott's better. Obviously, Maddie Zuppi's gotten better. Sarah Najai's got more confident. They used to have, I would say they would probably have a little bit more depth in years past. But now they got to go on to the state tournament after winning a 3rd straight gold ball to try and win that 3-peat. And expectations are, they kind of, I was there for the Newburgh game last night, and you could see that there's definitely some pressure on them. They feel a little bit of pressure. They had no problem with Newburgh either. But now they got, they're going to have Baldwin, who could definitely beat them, and they're going to have Shaker waiting in the state Final Four if they get through Baldwin. So Albertus, no real surprise, nothing really to Scott was just dominant.
I mean, they give Coach Mealy and Ketchum credit.
Yeah,
they were within striking distance at halftime.
They were, yeah.
But you kind of got the sense that they were going to get worn down.
Yeah,
and then
they also weren't hitting threes. They were that close and not really hitting threes.
And Kaminsky,
so they needed to hit like 10 threes.
Kaminsky had to be as brilliant in the second half as she was in the first. And I think Allie got tired because a lot of minutes, couldn't take her off the floor.
No.
And the defensive pressure and the way they guarded her in the second half really affected the game. And I think going into the lane against Julia Scott proved to be a lesson in futility. 8 blocks. Yeah.
She almost had triple-double.
You're not doing that. You're not. And she's learned how to defend. We talked about. She's learned how to defend without fouling.
Yeah. I mean, that's her alone. I mean, again, they have a tough road to winning a state championship for the 3rd year in a row, but they got Julia Scott, so they're in good shape.
Right.
You know?
She played
She's
really
very
well. Like
skilled.
her hands were soft that day. Like she everything she put up was going in. She didn't seem rushed.
Left hand.
There's no fatigue on their like. There's no like championship fatigue.
No.
When you win so much, sometimes you're just kind of like
Right.
you expect it to happen, and no, they're on a mission.
If she makes, I'm going to say this now. She's very good with her left hand.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how good she is with her left hand. She finished everything with her left hand. If she can step out and knock down jumpers like she's been doing the last part of this year, it's going to be tough for Baldwin and Shaker to guard her.
No, totally. So, all right. So then we go to the AAA. This is where things got real interesting on Sunday. AAA boys, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle was a couple years ago. You had Mount Vernon, Mamaroneck, and it was very weird to say that all the pressure was on Mamaroneck to win.
But it was.
It was. It absolutely was.
Destiny versus Dynasty, Coach called it, yeah.
And so we've got this matchup. Mamaroneck, I don't think Mamaroneck would want to beat anybody else to win their first ever gold ball, then have to do it through Mount Vernon. And from the start, Brandon Burrell. So Brandon Burrell goes and scores 30 points in the semifinal win, where he was just on another level. They got behind. Remember, they were down to Arlington early in that game, and they looked like they were totally out of sync. And they're, he talked about demons and the county center and how hard it is to win there. And I'm like, man, it's just basketball. Just play basketball. And that's what Tyrone Carver, he was just totally another coach who was very in control of his team. Just knew that it's like, not going to get caught up in the first 3 minutes. The old Tyrone Carver might have. Not this one. This guy was, this guy looked like he was ready to win a championship.
Yeah, he was, listen, he's very intense.
Mm-hmm.
We know he's very demanding. We know that as coaches, you can sometimes get a little more passionate than you should.
Yeah.
And so I think he's been that way in the semifinals a couple years before.
Yeah.
He was remarkably composed.
Yeah, we
the entire time from all through the weekend.
I got to. I didn't interview him. I met with him before the game in the finals, and for a man who was so intense, he just seemed like
he had a calm
he seemed
about
like he was a fan.
I watched it
was
last
going to watch
night,
it.
and I really kind of put my finger on it now. I don't know if any coach trusts their team more than Tyrone Carver trusts Mamaroneck right now. He trusts them to figure it out, to work through it, to make the right play, make the right pass.
That's a
No
great
one's
way to put it.
straying from the game
that's a great way to
plan.
put it.
Brandon Burrell on Wednesday night in the state tournament, did hit his first couple of shots. And Brandon Burrell was just like, okay, I'll just be the facilitator then. Other guys hitting shots.
And had, like you said, he had 8 or 10 assists, whatever it was.
He has so much trust that Brandon's going to just kind of steer the ship and do the right thing. And if he has to score, he'll score. I just think what Brandon Burrell did in that championship game was next level. I saw it in the semis. When you see it in the championship game, and a player who we know is putting a lot of pressure on himself to not just win, but to perform, right? So he wants to go out and show, I am a Division I player. I am the best player in Section 1. I am worthy of all this attention, all his accolades that he wants to have coming to him, and he did it. And he absolutely deserves everything.
And
nobody was better. Nobody's better the whole week. Him and Jack Pacone, for very different reasons, were the best players.
Agreed. But my thing was this. When we interviewed him after the Arlington game, I was like, okay, you played at a really high level. I don't know if you could play any better. And then guess what?
Yeah.
He played at a different level.
He was flawless. He was flawless in the championship.
Middle of the third quarter was like he had a shot, and I was like, I kind of like pretended to gasp, but like, oh, Brandon Burrell just took his first bad shot of the week. He forced a three, and he knew it, and he kind of turned to coach and went like this, and he kind of had his chest and that's why you trust your players.
Absolutely.
Because they know when they make mistakes. You don't need coaches yell at players a lot because they don't know when they make mistakes. They don't yell at them when they know they make mistakes. So he doesn't have to really yell at his team. He doesn't have to get kind of
10 seniors.
Yeah, 10 seniors. It's
his
a beautiful
basketball
thing.
IQ, Brandon's basketball IQ, and to your point of self-awareness, like you always talk about shooters shoot. How do shooters get out of a slump? You keep shooting. This kid, no. Like if he's in a shooting slump, he's going to drive the lane. He's going to dish the ball. He is just a phenomenal basketball player, mind. Yeah. And you're right. That championship game, he was as smooth as you could be on everything he did.
People here that he's going to Harvard, a Division I player, and Harvard's obviously very good basketball.
They're one of two in the Ivy right now.
Yeah, and Yale, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
So you have this expectation, and then the only way that basketball people feel like that gets validated is if he goes out and scores 30 points. And if you think that he's a Division I player because he scored 30 points in those 2 games, you're wrong. It's the plays he made to score those points and to dish and to defend and handle pressure. Mount Vernon couldn't press. You take away Mount Vernon's press because Brandon Burrell, you can't press him.
They tried to press him 3 or 4 times. Mm-hmm. They broke the press. They finished after they attacked the press. They broke it down and they finished. And Coach Cimino had to take it off.
Yeah, I mean, and Coach Cimino, it's tough. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
That Mount Vernon.
No.
It's the same thing against Iona Prep. Like, you know, they were in the game against Iona Prep in the regular season, but then they were down. They started to press, and then Iona Prep just passes right over the press, and it's like, damn, that was our wild. That was our you know, hip pocket card here. We can't play it because it doesn't work. So it's tough.
And I want to segue. You gave me a great segue about Brandon Burrell being so good.
Yeah.
About he makes all the right plays. Will Plunkett didn't have a point in the first half.
Yeah.
Kevin Devaney, Will Plunkett, 15 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Who Will Plunkett's beneficiary, the person who helped him, was who?
Brandon Burrell.
Correct.
Yeah. And so you think that Will Plunkett played better. It actually what happened was that Brandon Burrell helped position Will Plunkett to score more points.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it is.
Will Plunkett played fantastic.
He played fantastic. And he played great. Even though he didn't score, he was playing well inside.
He was fantastic. Defensive rebounding and the
that
presence.
Game was just, you know, even if they'd won the gold ball and it was 36-32 and they won, whatever, like it felt good to see them go and play at a high level and win.
Absolutely.
It felt good as like a basketball person who says like, hey, Mamaroneck earned it. They totally earned it. They totally deserve it. And they played really well for 4 whole quarters.
And I also want to say this. And this is coming from me.
Yeah.
Bob Cimino and his staff, what they did to get this team to the county center, this is one of the best coaching jobs him and his staff have done since I've lived here. Because, I mean...
Tyrone Carver won Coach of the Year, and he did a phenomenal job bringing this group along over the last 4 years. So if you want to say this is a coach of the last 4 years, whatever. But in terms of what started on 2025, November, whatever date they started, he started with 0 returning starters and very few guys that had like serious minutes in big games.
Correct.
Yeah. And he took them to the section championship game. So to me, Bob Cimino, the coach of the year, he probably should get more attention than but he'll never get coach of the year. It's unbelievable. He's the guy's in the Hall of Fame, best Section 1 basketball coach in history, winningest coach in history. And he doesn't get enough credit for Coach of the Year awards because they figure, well, he's
too good, or he's got too many players.
Good, you know.
But I got to say, watch Coach on the sideline when we were talking about breaking the press. He's like, all right, John, Claudio, everybody, come over here. Come over. We got a class going on here. Here's what Coach Cimino is going to do. He's going to run this type of press and this type of press and put it this way. And sure enough, Coach comes out and runs the press. And sure enough, he has to change the press because it's broken really quick.
And then Ty Carver runs what we call 2G stack, which we run that press break in our program. Yeah. And the 2G stack, Will Show came back, caught it. They flashed the off guard there. Brandon goes behind the press. Mm-hmm. That's where they hit Brandon over the top, and then it was 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So Kevin, what you're seeing right now, okay, and you understand what he's saying, and I understand what he's saying. Claudio, our executive producer, who is a Section 1 star athlete, okay, in multiple sports, played college, right? Played hockey, played tennis, played soccer. Coach is saying this stuff to him, and I never seen Claudio's eyes light up like, I don't know what he's talking about. 2G. Like,
well, here's the thing. So back to
3G cell phones.
Final thought on coaching, and I'm going to get myself into trouble for this, but I really don't care. I watched a bunch of Section 9 teams play this week. My daughter and I watched a bunch of Long Island championship games last week. Section 1 coaches are at a different level. And I'm just going to say that, so I'm going to put it on. If you watched certain games last night in Long Island and you saw what happened in the final minutes of these games, you're like, where the hell is the coach? Like, why are they not doing this? Why is that the play? I watched a team, like, I don't know, it's embarrassing. The team was inbounding at half court out of a timeout, and they ran a stack, and they did all the motions and the screens and everything. The defense was in a 2-3 zone, so I don't know who they were screening. Like that's what we're talking about.
Like the curl away.
Yeah,
like, and then
they did all of it. I'm like, you don't have to do it. The team's not there.
They're not there just inbound to pass the ball in.
Yeah, hand the ball, and they always got a back court because the kid caught the ball on this side. I was just like, this is Section 1 is coaching is really good.
I'm gonna say
it was rough, man. I was just like, oh my God.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get in trouble probably too, but Section 1 coaching right now, is as good, or might be the best that it's ever been since I've lived here. from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Like we've got coaches that are really now tuned in to a more of a European FIBA style continuity college approach. We've got more coaches in our section doing that than we've ever had before. And we've got young coaches that are going to be around for a long time on both the boys and girls side.
Yeah.
That are going to really enhance and strengthen basketball in our section.
I mean, Coach, it's easy because most of these kids came out of the Chris Ward basketball program, so they're really easy to coach after that.
Not all of them.
I mean,
not all of them,
most
John.
of these kids,
we can't.
I could be a great coach when the kids come out of that program.
Listen, I'm not going to do. We're not going to do that.
You don't do it. I do it. All right.
I mean, listen, we've got really good coaches.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with our level of play and the sets and the attention to detail. The execution was fantastic.
Great. Absolutely.
So we're in a good spot.
No, I agree.
We're in a good spot.
So we got two more.
So the last two games of the week, and they saved these two for last.
Yes, they did.
Well, they saved the girls' game. The Class B girls' game was probably the one that I felt like right when it started, there was a lot of tension. Hamilton and YMA split in the regular season. There was very awkward, there were little vibes between the two teams. Because you know what? Hamilton feels like they didn't get enough credit. They feel like YMA said that they played this way tougher schedule, and Hamilton didn't belong as the number one. And it was and then they beat each other in the regular season. The games were contentious in the regular season. Then they get to play for a championship. YMA was a better team, right? Yonkers Montessori was the better team, a little deeper.
Yeah.
Hamilton just couldn't get things going offensively. And a testament to YMA's defense. I mean, the funny thing is that in the first 5 minutes, you thought YMA was going to get run off the floor because of Hamilton's defense. It was crazy the way it turned.
Hamilton 8-1 punch in the face first 3 minutes of the first quarter. And I go, oh boy.
Yeah.
And then, I can tell you this. I don't think anybody's going to have dinner together from YMA or Hamilton.
No, I don't think
They're not going to share coffee or anything like that.
No ice cream shores?
Emily Doherty and Lilian Toro just took that game under control. We obviously, Alexa Mustafa was good inside, and Anissa Mustafa came off the bench and made a couple big threes to just kind of relax things a little bit in the second quarter of that game. And YMA goes on and wins back-to-back section championships under Coach Dr. Eli Moyes.
Yep.
And listen, this was their goal. Last year it was like this dream that came reality, winning the gold ball. They did it in pretty dominant fashion. And then there's different level of pressure when you got to do it back-to-back with a team that had so much returning. And Darney was great. They're just so tough, man. They're just really, really tough to beat.
You and I did that game where you were on the call. I color commentated for you. I've never seen as intense a first half as that game was, but I also have never seen as uncharacteristic sloppy play from both teams.
It was
turn. I mean, we didn't get through 3 possessions before there was a turnover at times.
They were so tight.
Both teams were wanted to win it so bad.
Yeah, both teams have they have some soft spots in their schedule because of their league and different things.
Right.
But they both play Tuckahoe, and it's but sometimes it's hard to get things that are just open, like against the press. Like normally you turn, you pass back, and there's nobody there at the middle court. And here comes Hamilton flying up the floor. And so you have to kind of remind yourself, oh yeah, these teams are pretty good. So these things that are open all year long are not open here in the champion. And YMA adjusted.
Yeah, they settled down because they were not settled in the first half at all.
And they were the better team in the end. And winning the gold ball for the second year in a row. And they move on to the state tournament. They win their first game. They have a tough road, but we'll talk about that. But our last game,
Kevin, real quick, how do they do the schedule? Like how did this Class B one become the last game?
So the
On
Class
Sunday
B boys
night,
championship game, what was the main event? Obviously, it was the game with they work backwards from what the state tournament has, and literally they go to the state Final Four
for rest.
And they try and work backwards as much as they can. There's also regionals where teams are traveling for regionals.
Yep.
So it's a little long, convoluted answer, but they work backwards basically.
Gotcha.
So they put this game on Sunday night at 7:30, and it was the main event, and it lived up to it, right? So you have Woodlands, 2-time champion, Dobbs Ferry, Anthony Ficarata, Section 1 scoring champ. It was made for the marquee game. And you thought to yourself, Dobbs, nice try, Dobbs. You're down. You're down double digits to Woodlands. You're not coming back to win this game. And, Dobbs played really sloppy in the first half, and we're kind of lucky to be within 5 at halftime?
No, was it?
I think 7.
7? Okay, so 7-point
Yeah.
game at halftime. And that was like, you were like, okay, they're in striking distance. But how are they gonna come
But
back?
then Woodlands went up to by 13 or 14.
They grew the lead
14,
up in the third quarter.
Because that's what they do. You can't beat those guys when they're out in the lead. They just run with it. So to your point, it was like, yeah, right, good. Dobbs, you earned your way to be there.
Congratulations.
Great story.
Foul trouble against Noah Trubin. Foul trouble against Sean McKinney. Foul trouble against Sebastian Benitez.
Yep.
And then just kind of like, I would say an off night from Aaron Woodbury, but I think the defense of Mystique Smith was awesome. I mean, he was fantastic. He changed he kept them in that game.
He did.
And when you really look, when he fouled out, that's kind of when Aaron Woodbury was able to kind of put up the points late in the game to win the game.
I'll tell you, it was Woodbury's best defensive effort
Woodbury,
I've ever seen him play. And I've seen him play a lot because, I mean, obviously, Sebastian the same side. But the rundown block, the LeBron James type chase down block off the backboard.
Being a big play.
He was awesome. But Dobbs goes, they're down, they come back in the fourth quarter, and you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, maybe they'll have a chance to get, within reach here. And then, Calvin Higgins hits the three-pointer, ties the game up, place explodes. Mateus Hertzberg is making the right plays. Obviously, Anthony Figueroa had 30 points. And he was quiet. Not quiet, but he kind of missed some free throws, missed some shots early on. I don't think that was I think Woodlands is just, it makes you play that much faster and that much tougher. He got to the line a lot. And, got them in foul trouble. They came back. They had their chances in the end of regulation. And now the question is, we heard it. Everyone's heard it about, Anthony not getting a shot in the final seconds of regulation. Coach, so you said exactly in our pregame show what I thought. Woodlands, the defense in that situation, the defense is in the denial. It's not in contesting the shot.
Absolutely.
You have a much better chance of winning the game if you deny him the ball than if you have to defend him shooting the ball. The denial was great, and that's why he couldn't get it.
And I want to say this publicly because there's a lot of banter.
Yeah.
I could use a different word, but this is a family show.
Starts with a B.
There's a lot of banter about the decision for that Anthony didn't get the last shot. I'm going to say this right now. Coach Petrillo and his staff coached their ever-loving tails off to even give them a chance to have a chance to knock off Woodlands.
Yeah.
He coached his tail off the entire season.
Yeah.
Okay? And don't think that Coach Petrillo had something drawn up to get Anthony the ball both at the end of regulation and at the end of the overtime.
The thing is that everybody who sits there and everyone who this time of year watches so much basketball and watches down to the wire, last second. It's so different. Not that I've been in it, but when you're in it, 11 seconds feels like that, right? So Mateus Hertzberg is waiting for Figueroa to go through the screens and come around. And meanwhile,
he's getting pressure.
Woodlands is knocking him off course. And he's getting pressure. And Noah Trubin's there and he's denying him. And then when it's immediately not there, it's like, oh my God, now I can't be dribbling the ball and let things run out.
Right.
So you got to put the shot up. Shot goes up. I thought it was going in.
It was Claudio
close.
and I were sitting there. I go, it's got a chance. When it left his hand, I said, it's got a chance, Claudio.
It was a good look. It wasn't a bad look.
Back of the rim.
Back of the rim.
And then one more thing, Kev. Here's my thing. At the end of overtime, what Scott was going to run, somebody, I think, from where my vantage point wasn't in the right place because there were two guys in the same place.
There was two on the ball, and then the third defender came over.
The two guys offensively were right beside each other.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Listen, guys, we can analyze the coaching side of it all,
but
I'll tell you right now.
Scott Petrillo coached his tail off all year long, and I can promise you he wanted Anthony to have the ball in his hands. So the nonsense and the banter and the social media nonsense needs to stop. That man coached his tail off.
Yep.
Good credit to him coaching his tail off. I totally agree. You have Aaron Woodbury, who I think had 5 points or 6 points, right? He's their best player. They need to win the game. They put the ball in the hands of the best player.
Yeah.
How Anthony Figueroa, okay, whatever plays we're talking about, 17.7 seconds, not 11 because they brought it up to the half court.
That's right,
17.7 seconds, end of the game, chance to win. You can't lose anything because they're not down. It's a tie game.
Yep.
Okay, so 17.7 seconds.
Are you talking about
End of regulations.
End of regulations.
Yeah,
Okay.
17.7 seconds.
Okay.
They brought it to half court because they don't have the same rule the girls have where to do it to then run the play at half court.
Right.
Like if you just look at like from the basketball sense, you want your best player to have the ball in his hands. And credit to Woodlands for that out of bounds play where they denied him.
Yeah.
But I feel you should have given the ball full court, 17 and a half seconds.
If he had the ball full court, you got to let it go then.
Let it go.
And let a player make a play. It's great. Yeah, you want to call the timeout and draw something up. But you also have Anthony Figueroa who could he's Mr. Draw it up in his head.
Right.
I get why social media is going crazy.
I see both ways.
It could go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's got a different analytical approach and mindset. Scott probably felt very confident in what they were going to run.
Yeah.
And he thought that, you know, taking it out of bounds, getting a timeout, settling his guys down and getting them in the right place was going to be the right decision.
It was a wild environment at that point. It really was. I mean that was like you couldn't hear anything.
Greenberg showed up.
Yeah, that was great.
The Dobbs Ferry Nation showed up upstairs.
It was a great way to end the week. Dobbs Ferry had the ball up 2 in overtime and didn't win. Give credit to Woodlands. That is some serious fortitude there from Woodlands, who's been in a lot of big games, and we saw it.
I'm going to say this. Woodbury, the shot he makes was highly contested. You see the kid trying to get his hand up, the defender trying to get his hand up, and he knocks that down.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't blink. Even though he struggled, he didn't blink. And I want to go out and say this. Noah Cherubin and Sebastian Benitez had the games of their lives, and they had to.
Yeah, he did.
They were so efficient. They both had 19.
Yeah.
And I think they probably had 38 points combined.
Yeah.
Probably on no more than 25 or 26 shot attempts because their decision-making in offense, really that efficiency is what won the game.
Benitez hitting those threes early on. I mean, you don't see big men shoot like that.
He stepped out and knocked it down.
It reminded me of Jamison Stevens a few years ago against Dobbs Ferry.
Absolutely.
Last year when he stepped out and started hitting those shots, and it was like, how are we going to defend this? So give credit to Dobbs, give credit to Woodlands, obviously.
Coach Rappaport, this is his third consecutive gold ball with Coach John Gersell.
Did you guys think though, like we're sitting here talking about, we just recap, we're going to go to the state tournament. We're sitting here talking about it. How amazing is it that Woodlands, Dobbs Ferry, overtime, last game, end the weekend? Like I never would have predicted.
It was like scripted. It was like
it was scripted.
It was awesome.
It's like a movie.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Greenberg and Woodlands. They've really gotten behind this program, this basketball program the community has, and what Coach Rappaport does with those kids on and off the court is invaluable and immeasurable.
Totally.
And I'm happy, you know, obviously somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. But this man, this is his third consecutive gold ball, and they've got a legitimate chance to make it to Glens Falls for a third consecutive time.
They go to Glens Falls, they're in the wrong spot. It's in Binghamton.
I'm sorry, Binghamton now. I forget it's Binghamton. I kept saying
it should be Glens Falls.
But it's Binghamton. Yeah. And they're in rare, if they go back, they're in rarefied air in Section 1.
3 times is hard, man. You basically need a team and a half. Like you can't you get back-to-back runs with a team like when you have a group of guys, but they have this is now bridging 2 groups here together and making one program is pretty special.
I'll tell you guys, the winners of this weekend were the fans. Us, I mean, getting to watch these kids play. It was such a great weekend. And again, credit to Section 1 for putting it together.
And then all those champions, they all won their state regional semifinal. And they all pretty much did it handily. I mean, 8-0 against Section 1 versus Section 9. It's like the second year in a row where they've kind of owned things in this part of the state. I don't love the way the state now is doing. It's a regional rotation. There's an at-large bid. So Section 9 got 2 teams in the state tournament. In some classes, let's not talk about it.
Okay.
But there's a regional rotation.
We'll
because it's 11 sections to go to one Final Four. The numbers are kind of like awkward. It's like puzzle pieces that don't fit. So they're trying to expand the state tournament and trying to do a regional rotation because Section 1 has had to win 2 games to get to the Final Four, where other sections only have to win 1. And they're like, well, Section 1's got great track record of success here. Why do we have to win 2? So Section 1 pushed this whole new system of regional rotation. It's going to be great. But starting off, you guys got to play Section 9 and Long Island to go. So to me, it's the most idiotic system in that, so in Class AAA, if you look at the number of schools that are in Section 1, Section 8, Nassau County, Section 11, Suffolk County, they make up more than half of the teams in the state in AAA. They have to play each other just to go to the Final Four. So to me, the final team should be in each region. For the Final Four should be representing 25% of the state. It'd be great. It's going to represent like 55% of the state in one region. So this is a rotation. It's not going to be this way every year. It was dumb that it's even this way one year. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm just going to say that we've seen it in soccer. And so it's AAA and AA. So it's actually not even fair to Long Island schools. They have to go through Section 1 to get to the Final Four because this is a bad year to have it because it looks like the Section 1 teams at the highest levels are all really good. So, and they've shown why.
Absolutely.
Rye wins by 15 over Goshen. TZ takes care of Beacon. TZ beats Beacon 51. It was actually 36. Beacon averaged 70.5 points per game and had 11 points at the half against Tapan Zee. And people in Beacon were just like jaw on the floor. Now, Beacon used to be in Section 1. They know what Tapan Zee is. They moved to Section 9 a couple years ago. But this is just next level defense that I don't care what you've done all year. I don't care how many shots you made from threes. And you could tell me that you think, oh, well, they missed a lot of open shots. The work that it takes to get those open shots, and those open shots were coming with 5 or less seconds on the shot clock, they don't always go in. And so TZ defensively was just masterful in this game. And honestly, TZ can win a state championship because no team they're going to face now knows really all that much about them than what they see on typically one film or on paper.
And you
don't know it unless you play them.
And if you look at them, if you're from upstate, central New York, northeast. So remember, southeast New York, one champion, northeast New York, another champion, northwest, southwest. If you are from any one of those three areas and you see Tapan Zee, are you really going to be blown out of the water?
No, because on paper they play 5 guys. One of them, the really good player, only averages like 7 points a game.
And their biggest guy is 6'3".
Biggest guy is 6'3". And they have a guy on the team that plays. He's like 5'9". Like there's nothing imposing about them other than reputation.
Their will.
People like me.
Other than their will.
The only thing that should be intimidating people about Tapan Zee is us talking about it.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's it. So a lot of teams learn the hard way. And I think Beacon did. And we'll see what the other teams have coming up. They got to play. They have to go to Long Island this week. They're playing. Who's Tapan Zee playing? I'm blanking. They're playing on Saturday. They're playing their state regional.
It should be here somewhere.
Regional final. I don't see it on my list here.
No, I don't see it on the list either.
I have it on my computer. But they're in good shape, man, because it's a Long Island school that pretty much doesn't know anything about it. Oh, Smithtown West, is that the team?
Yes,
Smithtown West. So Smithtown West, I watched them play last night. They're very similar to Tapan Zee. I saw them beat Southside, who's a well-known program.
Yes, they are.
So Smithtown West,
program.
Smithtown West to me has a little bit of Beacon in them in terms of just how confident they are as a program. They're young, they're up and coming. So this would be a good challenge for TZ, but I do think TZ wins. And then the other teams, everyone else is going on. So you have Mamaroneck boys are moving on. You have Woodlands boys, Rye, and of course North Salem had the bye. So on the boys side, they have 5 regionals. The schedule is set for this weekend. Rye boys are playing tomorrow night, Friday night. Mamaroneck plays Saturday against Bayshore.
Up in Yorktown, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
TZ boys play blank. So I had this wrong. So it's Floral Park they're playing, right?
Yeah, because Rye's playing Smithtown.
Rye's playing Smithtown West. That's what I'm sorry. I'm totally wrong. This is why you should look at your paper.
And Mamaroneck's playing who?
Right. Tapan Zee's playing Floral Park, who
Tapan Zee's playing Floral Park.
I think they're a pretty big favorite. I think Rye has the toughest game of the 5 teams remaining in Section 1. Smithtown West was pretty tough. I just don't know if I don't remember them watch the whole game. I don't think they have nearly the depth that Rye has. Rye's depth should be the difference.
And their physicality.
Yeah, the physicality. And just how some teams get on a roll, man, and Rye's on a roll right now. They're really marching on. So that's where I feel.
I think Henry's going to have to score more than he did in the last game, though.
Carl Place is the team that Woodlands is facing. I think that Carl Place was pretty tough. So I think Woodlands is a slight favorite. But close game going in the fourth quarter, but not surprise me. It's hard to beat Woodlands.
And you're out in Long Island.
Yeah, you're out in Long Island, and the problem is it's going to be playing 32 minutes against Woodlands. We saw Dobbs had a hard time with it. I mean, not everyone, but like a couple of the players, it's just 32 minutes was too much. And the other thing is you need to defend all 5 positions, and that's something that Dobbs couldn't do for the entire game. And so I think Carl Place is going to be challenged in that sense too. So I like all their chances on the boys' side. I think all have a really good chance. I would say
I do too.
75% or better on all of them. I think Mamaroneck even, they're taking on Bayshore, who's a 6-time Long Island champion, not in a row, but 6-time ever. So they're a program that's been here before. I just don't know how you beat this Mamaroneck team the way they play. The way they execute. The execution, you can know their plays. Kingston knew their plays. Knew where Will Plank was coming, curling around on these pads. It didn't matter. He still executes these plays. So they're really.
It goes back to that rhythm you were talking about. They're just on a rhythm. Just like
Ryan Jonah Walsh is going to make 6 threes like he did on Wednesday night. They're not. No one's going to beat them.
And by the way, the Reese brothers give you 10 fouls and they're physical.
Johnny Smith made some great passes. He made some big shots. He made some great passes last night. To me, the fact that they're a true 8-player team right now.
Yes, they are.
Is really that's the only way you win.
And by the way, they beat a traditional powerhouse in Kingston.
Yeah, they kind of demoralized Kingston in the second quarter. It was Kingston came back in the second quarter. They demoralized them in the third quarter by stretching the floor and making those 3-point shots. So credit to Plunkett and Burrell in terms of just it takes some veterans and some mature players to allow what happened last night and Jonah Walsh being the hero.
Absolutely.
6 threes was awesome to watch. On the girls' side, we have the Nyack girls against West Hampton Beach. I watched West Hampton Beach last night. They won for the first time ever, so they're kind of like Nyack in the fact that they're here for the first time ever.
Right.
I don't think they have the foot speed, the athleticism to contend with Nyack. So which is good because Nyack obviously doesn't play more than 5 players.
No.
So I think Nyack's in a really good position to go up to Troy. Albertus is playing defending champion Baldwin. They were the state champions last year in AA. They moved up to AAA. They are a team that I don't think they're nearly as good as Albertus, but they could beat Albertus. If Albertus doesn't show up, Julia Scott gets into foul trouble, and they need to play their best game to win. Not at their best, but they need to play a really good game to beat Baldwin.
Sarah Najai has got to play the second half of the section final.
Yep, 4 quarters.
4 quarters.
Yeah,
totally.
And last night I watched them against Newburgh. They just dominated from the start, and they didn't really run anything. I mean, Maddie Zuppi made Julia Scott had 10 of the first 15 points. She had 8 rebounds before the end of the first quarter, and they were up 15-3. And then Maddie Zuppi hit 3 straight threes, and it's like, okay, that's
game over.
Game over. And then on the girls' side, obviously TZ girls are playing on Sunday. So some of the girls play on Sunday. 3 of the girls' teams play on Sunday. Tapan Zee girls play Plain Edge. I watched that game last night, down to the wire game. And so it's an advantage for Tapan Zee. They just came off a game where they were up 34-0 early in the second quarter on Highland. It was hard to watch. So they kind of coasted through, and then they're facing a team that just coming off an emotional win to beat Garden City for Long Island Championship. So I think TZ is catching them at a good time. I think winning Long Island Championship is unlike anything else. It's similar to winning Section 1, where it's like you're going to this big event and the feeling of accomplishment. They'll talk about being Long Island people don't care about Long Island. So you win Long Island. You tell for people for life, we won the LIC, right? That's a big every sport.
Well, it's Nassau,
right.
Nassau versus best of Nassau.
All the people care about in Long Island. I don't think that they have enough to
Montauk versus the Bridge.
Yeah, so it's they're in a good spot. YMA on the girls' side is going to play against Cold Spring Harbor on Sunday. Also out of SUNY Farmingdale. Both those games at Farmingdale. Cold Spring Harbor's good. Cold Spring Harbor won out of section this year. Played a really good schedule. They were in the state Final Four last year. I think that they're talented. I think YMA's got the toughest game on the girls' side by far. So they're in a tough position. Tuckahoe against Pearson. I think Tuckahoe's just rolling. I don't think Pearson can match up with them whatsoever. So I think Tuckahoe moves on. YMA's got the hardest challenge. They want to get to the Final Four for losing last year in Binghamton. TZ, Albertus, Nyack, all in really good position. By the way, those 3 schools, all from Rockland County.
Yes, they are.
Kevin's favorite county.
Real quick, Cold Spring Harbor, I believe that's where Wally Serbiak grew up. And
basketball town.
It is a basket. People don't realize that because it's like
also lacrosse town. It's really good lacrosse town.
And it's on the water, and it's scenic and all that stuff. But there's good athletes out there.
No, absolutely.
In Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor is gonna be challenged. So I think of the 10 teams remaining, we could have 8, maybe more going to the Final Four. The boys games are all I don't say the coin flips, but I would give the advantages to the teams that are playing locally.
Right.
But if there was 8 teams on the Final Four, I would not be shocked.
It's very reminiscent of before the world was shut down. We could have had in 2020 how many teams?
Oh, well, let's talk about that for a second, real quick, because Nick Townsend from Horace Greeley leads them to their first ever gold ball. He goes on to Yale. He just got named the Ivy League Player of the Year. We got robbed in Section 1 because he was only a junior. He was going to win. They beat Newburgh in the first round of the state tournament that year. Or they beat they beat Newburgh. They had a chance to win a state championship at Horace Greeley, which would have been unbelievable. And then they all came back. They were coming back the next year. That's one. Then on the girls' side, Sonia Citron, who's in WNBA, she was a junior at Ursuline. They won this championship. COVID actually kind of originated in America, right next door to Ursuline School. So they got shut down real quick. But they you remember that? Yeah, it was in the news.
I do.
So they would have won back-to-back state championships at Ursuline, and we got completely robbed. One's in WNBA, one's the Ivy League Player of the Year. Two phenomenal players who sort of just kind of at the wrong time in history.
And how about John Aguilar at Rye? They destroyed everybody in Section 1 that year.
Yeah.
Hamilton was going to go to the state championship.
That's right. I forgot about Hamilton.
Hastings was going to go to the state. Was going to go to Final Four on the boys' side.
Yeah, it's very. You're
and then on
right.
the girls' side,
are you wishing something bad to happen?
You're bringing up old wounds for these coaches. When they watch this, you know the kind of shit we're gonna get. You know what, man? Like I got over my 2020 loss.
I understand, but I'm just saying it's reminiscent of that. Our groups are very strong this year.
Yeah,
and we have a lot of teams that have a shot at going to Binghamton and Troy, and this is the first time since that time.
Yeah.
That we've had that many teams that have a chance.
All right, for the record, if we have some pandemic or something happening in 2 weeks from now,
blame Coach Ward.
Blame Coach Ward. Okay, hit him on Twitter,
so
X.
good.
I mean,
everywhere.
Hit him right there.
AAU season, Coach. AAU season's coming up. So spring sports started in New York State last week. So a lot of these guys, like Will Plunkett's a big time baseball player. He's still playing basketball.
Binghamton can commit.
The Reeses, lacrosse,
Division I.
Yeah.
Binghamton's baseball program won the America East last year.
Yeah.
I like college baseball. I know you're. Yeah, here we go.
Like
so
what don't you like?
They went to they represent the America East
in the
NCAA final in the NCAA East final at regional. They went to the East.
We're running out of time, but to your point, what isn't like I was talking about people like, oh man, you know, I heard Coach Ward on the commentary with Kevin Devaney, and he's doing the show. This and that, like. What is he like? Like, how does he know all this stuff? I'm like, hey, when you see Coach Ward, okay, when you see him, ask him about cricket. Just ask him. Ask him about cricket.
It's not because he likes cricket. He watched cricket live one time, but don't. I know something he doesn't like. I know something he doesn't like. That bridge over to Long Island. He does not like Long Island.
Oh no, I don't. I'm sorry, Long Island. I do not. Sorry.
Listen, the whole point
for
about
a lot of reasons.
I had to sneak that in.
Yeah, had to sneak it in. He's not going to Long Island ever. Not anymore. But yes, we want all the kids to play sports here at the Winning Moments. But yes, Coach is knowledgeable about everything. It's odd, especially the cricket game, which was just, I mean.
As Jim McKay said for the opening of ABC Wide World of Sports, some of us are old enough to remember ABC Wide World of Sports. Jim McKay, he would do the voiceover.
Yeah.
And it was the thrill of victory. Da, 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 da. And then the ski jumper fell off the side of the ski jump and the agony of defeat.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was Jim McKay. So guess what? You know, I like all sports.
Of course.
So if I know what an over is or a wicket is in cricket, which I do, you know, and a 4, I know what this is. It's like a double in baseball.
Now you're just showing off.
All right. So anyway, it is what it is. I love the thrill of athletic competition.
Love it.
Well, listen, ABC, if you guys want to have the wide world of sports for high school,
bring it back.
Bring it back to the Winning Moments. We're happy to do that. And just, you know, cut the check. We're here to go. So, listen, guys, I got to tell you, like, as we end this Section 1 championship, we started this show 14 weeks ago, put this thing together like, hey, what are you doing on Fridays? I could be here.
He had no idea who I was.
What are you doing on Fridays?
He's like, Kevin who?
I could do. I could be here. I could be here.
Okay. How did I get on?
The truth.
How did I get on the Dean Martin roast today?
Yeah. No, I'm saying John didn't know who it was.
He's like, do you know who Kevin Devaney is? I said, I do. I have somewhat of a relationship with Kevin Devaney.
We can wrap it up.
I know his partner. My partner, I mean his beautiful wife. So now, okay, I don't even know how to wrap that up. Threw me off. So thank you guys. Seriously, like we couldn't pick the best year to start basketball. So many record breakers.
Oh, it's incredible.
Great tournament. I mean, Kevin, you no one will know this when it comes to the championship in the county center. That was put together on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And we showed up on a Friday.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, listen, it's
Thank you so much, Kevin, for us to be a part of it.
It's amazing.
If you're ever going to start a show on Section 1 high school basketball, this was the year to do it.
This was the year to do it. Exactly.
It really was.
And on that note, we are very lucky for all you players and coaches because you're the ones that gave us that opportunity. We just show up here and Coach and Kevin look pretty. And I'm just trying to wrap it up here. Thank you, guys. We're not stopping at basketball. Coaches who are in Section 1 right now, we wish you the best to win this championship. We're all big fans. We're all grateful for what you gave us this year. Like and subscribe. Share this across every social media platform that we're on. And, yeah, we'll be back next week with some more updates. And hopefully it's
state tournament, state Final Four.
Yeah, hopefully it's
Binghamton
10-0.
and Troy. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's a wrap.